Hello everybody, I am Bacter, and welcome to this casual or low effort, or whatever you want to call it, let's play of Monaco Pickpocket only. This is sort of a, I don't know, just something I like to do. Monaco is one of my favorite, just fun to play type games, and I am running an art thread right now of art games. And the deal is those are super story heavy, but so far we haven't picked the ones that are the most fun to play, so I'm kind of taking a break from all that, and I'm going to do one of my favorite things, which is Monaco as the pickpocket. Now, Monaco, as I'm sure you're aware, or if you're not, then welcome to Monaco. This is a thief-style game in which you play as a variety of crooks and criminals, each of which have their own special ability, and the goal is to escape from various areas, or break into various areas, and steal everything you possibly can. I'm doing a lot of stuff right now. I'm pickpocketing. I just set off a fuse which breaks all the electricity on a level. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff to do. I dig the art style. I dig the interactivity. I like the graphics. Look, doesn't this seem just like a dark, stormy night? All we know so far is that we are freshly broken out of jail, and honestly, for this Let's Play, I'm not going to be getting into the plot too much, which is why this is in the casual Let's Play thread. There is another excellent LP of Monaco. I'm sure I'll link that in my description of the thing, which I'm sure goes into the story more and who everybody is. All you need to know about the pickpocket is he has a pet capuchin monkey named Hector, and Hector steals gold for him, as you can see. This makes areas a lot easier, but he is not one of the most powerful thieves in terms of abilities. There's a whole host of thieves, and probably the two most powerful are the gentleman and the mole. You could argue that, I'm sure, and I'm sure for insane speedrunners or whatever. Maybe, I don't know, he is the best. But you got Locksmith who can pick locks, the Lookout is very fast and can see enemies, the Pickpocket has the monkey, Cleaner can knock out people, and that's all we have for now. We unlock other ones later. I guess when I look at the top scores, a lot of these do seem to be by pickpockets, so he's just my favorite. I like Hector, I like his design, I like the idea behind the pickpocket. Just this raggedy hobo man breaking into wherever you are and going to steal all the pennies. So, as I said before, the main goal is to steal pennies. Sometimes it's just to escape, sometimes it's to collect trophies. I think you have to, yeah, disturb that bird there that alerts the guard. So you don't want to alert guards, obviously. Line of sight is very bad. They will first off get a question mark above their heads, which turns into an exclamation point. However, you can press space to sneak or amble, as I like to say. And if you always be ambling, you can get away with quite a lot without really getting detected. Hector also makes the game a bit easier by letting you really extend your reach. Oh, here's a guy after me for the first time, and he smacked me one right in my gob. You can run away pretty effectively and break line of sight. I for sure don't need a health pack after just that one punch. Guards get worse as the game goes along. You'll get guys with handguns and then eventually machine guns, and I think the gendarmes get shotguns at the very end of the game. Those guys are jerks. So you can see that there's a vague prison break plotline going on here. Sometimes I like to play with my friend Ms. Bundefund, and when we do that, I am always the mole and he is always the gentleman. The mole's thing, as you can see, is he just breaks through walls, which is unbelievably useful, and they haven't really balanced it so the mole is kind of broken. You can finish a lot of levels a lot more easily than you should maybe be able to with him. And there we go. Cleaned out means I've collected all the pennies. Sorry, buddy. And you can see when you approach something which is doable. Oh, I unlocked something. That's cool. When you approach something which is doable, you have to press yourself up against it, and you have a little window of opportunity before it lets you do what you want to. There we go. Yeah, as I was saying, when I'm playing with Ms. Bundefund, I like to be the mole, and he likes to be the gentleman. The gentleman's thing is he has a permanent disguise. Guards don't notice you if you have a disguise on. Disguises do deteriorate after a while of being seen, and your disguise just blows off your body eventually. See, I'm hacking the camera here. It takes a little while. There's a hacker who can hack much more effectively than anybody else can. Can I get up there? When lasers are red, you can trip them. When they're gray, you don't trip them, which is handy to know. You can see your objectives by pressing space. It's a really simple game to learn, and the reason that I'm playing this is it's just really fun, viscerally fun to play. You know, obviously it gets a lot harder as you go along. And the penny placement is can vary from time to time. You can see they want you to use computers to hack security here. These are some annoying always-on lasers. Those are real jerks, and so you've got to use these hacks here. Hacks are kind of annoying. I mean, they follow you around as those little disembodied, blocky, whatever, icon things. But sometimes you can't exactly control where they go, and they always seem to go right where you don't want them. Let me get upstairs over here. If you trip one of those, one of two things can happen. Either it'll be an alarm that attracts guards, and alarms work by, if somebody notices something, they'll place an exclamation point on the map so you can see where they're going to go, and the first guard to be available goes and gets it. So the plot of this one is we have to get that trophy because we are trying to get passports from, I believe, the Lebanese embassy. This all takes place, as the game might indicate, in Monaco, which is a sort of a fancy pants country. I think that's one of the ones where a lot of rich people are because they have what might generously be described as lenient tax laws, designed in part to attract wealthy kind of people. So I guess they're doing their job there. So the pickpocket's other thing is he jumps in these plants very quickly. Normally it takes people much longer to jump in them. When you're in a plant, you're invisible unless a guard saw you go in the plant. And if that's true, then they'll find you. Annoyingly, whenever guards leave an area, well, book it, because these things don't stay hacked for long. There we go. Annoyingly, whenever guards go through a door, if it's unlocked, they relock it on their way through, which I guess is fairly true to life. Oh, anyway, as I was saying, when you trigger an alert, an exclamation mark is placed on the map, and whoever is closest to that exclamation point, guard-wise, will come investigate it. This might be a good time to talk about, yeah, I've got these items here, and I've got a whole bunch of gold. If you save it up, will let you use your items. So normally he would see me, but I can activate a smoke bomb, and he doesn't see that, so I can slip right out as I unlock that door there. You get a new item used for every 10 pennies you collect, which is handy. There we go. And next we go to Mont Albert. Again, I don't really have a particular sense for how many of these I want to do. I'm just going to kind of do them for a while. So there's a bunch of different weapons. For whatever reason, I don't much like to use the guns. They are kind of useful. That's the only part. See, watch as Hector picks all those pockets, so I don't have to. Thanks, Hector. The guns you aim with the mouse. Otherwise, you probably won't use the mouse much at all in your playthroughs. Ooh, here's a disguise. These are great. I was talking about those last time. The gentleman has a permanent regenerating one of these. Let's see how they work. Normally, that guard down there would have seen me, but you saw the black little dots around me there. Those turn white when you're being seen, and they degrade steadily as you're being seen. And once they're all gone, your disguise explodes off of you. It degrades slower if you're ambling, of course, so ABA, always be ambling. And once it explodes, then people notice you like regular. Not really sure why this safe is here, sort of in the middle of the street, but, you know, to each their own. Safes take an awful long time to hack. Hector is real nice when you get those, because he just goes nuts collecting everything. Hector cannot get through locked doors, so you're going to have to unlock those for him. This guy is sort of a running joke. You kind of get him fired from all the jobs he's been a part of. But as soon as... oh, he can't. Hector can't pick up those cash sacks either. You've got to touch them, which turns them into 3 pennies. Hector can't do everything, but he's really useful. Let's see, what all was I going to talk about? We've talked about alerting guards. Oh, yeah, guns. I just don't like them. You aim them with the mouse, like I say, and fire. And there's a number of them, and they're decently useful. There's a shotgun and a machine gun. off the bat that I can think of. If you shoot somebody, they turn into a skeleton, and the deal with skeletons is that isn't permadeath or anything like that. All it really does is... there we go. Whoever was in that locked bathroom door had a penny that I needed. I can't even imagine that. How horrifying must that be, you know? You're just going to the bathroom. See, I'm pulling the fuse here and shutting off the power. Somebody is going to come turn this on. It's going to be this guy. But hopefully, in the meantime, while he does, I can kind of sneak my way up here. Okay, I'm not going to get too far. I should have cleared this way before I came, but whatever. Anyway, you're going to the bathroom, you lock the door explodes open, in comes this guy with his monkey. Alright, there he is. He's about to turn back on the power, and I predict, yep, we'll see a, I don't know if I can make it. Oh, I just can. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I think if that goes off, then all the doors in here auto-lock. Anyway, in blast the monkey, steals your penny. It's a bad day. No problem so far. I'm probably going to get through a decent percentage of these early easy levels, because nothing is really too bad at this point in time. There's a lot of areas to break line of sight. There's not a whole lot of security. See, look, I'm ambling up here. Normally I couldn't make this without this guy getting mad at me. Guards in white shirts have just clubs that they smack you with, and that's annoying enough. But truly beware the guards in blue, because they have handguns. Very beware men in black. You'll see them later. They're all bald and they have tuxedos, because they have machine guns, and those are, for obvious reasons, just the absolute worst. Okay, I think there's not too many more pennies up here. You don't have to collect all the pennies to complete the level. Usually there's just like a few objectives you need, but I'm sort of a completionist, so I like to do that. There are 10 pennies in safes, 3 pennies in a lot of other different things. Most everybody else will only have 1 penny at a particular time. Not actually pennies, I don't know what the actual currency of Monaco is. Francs, maybe. I like that all the guards speak French. Kind of adds a nice touch to the game. So yeah, it's kind of a relaxing game to play, and it's very well done in the sense of it just feels fun, you know? All the mechanics, I mean, the mechanics are a little silly sometimes, like you can get away with things that you probably shouldn't, you know, be able to get away with. Okay, good to know, there's a fuse in there. Here's a penny that, or here's a stack that unfortunately Hector can't get, but I can. All you need to do is just briefly touch it. And the nice thing is, normally you would have to touch it and then make sure you collected every penny, but with Hector, all you really have to do is just lightly brush it, and then he takes care of the rest. Okay, I got one more stack down here. Excuse me, gentlemen. There's 2 kinds of walls, really. There's these line-of-sight breaking walls, and then there's non-line of sight breaking walls, other walls. There we go. As long as a guard doesn't see you as you're jumping into the bush, even if he's like angry and chasing after you, if he doesn't see you jump in a bush, then he won't know where you've gone. He has to physically see you get in it. Alright.
Qui va là?
Excuse me. I think he was mad at me, but I don't think he's going to catch me. Which is great, and I think him chasing after me distracted him to the point where I can get a lot of this done. See, I collected the mission objective, and now I could go at any time. Beautiful. Just another example of how nice it is to have Hector around. So all I had to do was just brush up against those fat stacks of cash, and he really did the rest. Also, the other nice thing about being the pickpocket is...
Quoi?
See, they didn't quite see me as I was jumping in. Oh, it also... so if you alert a civilian, the civilian runs and finds the nearest guard, then the guard gets alerted to your general position. Fortunately, you know, the civilians don't do anything about you themselves, and I don't think the civilians ever can actually point you out as having jumped into a bush. And until a guard is angry, like red exclamation mark going after you, I don't think that they actually notice about you going into bushes. Now this guy might, the guy down on the right facing that stack of cash, he's probably going to get mad when I pick that from him, but I think that's the last cash on the level, so I think all I'm going to do is grab it and then just book it. I've got enough, thank you. Civilians and guards can all open doors for you. You just kind of run out at the same time as they do. There we go. I don't have to do this. I could just book my whole way out. In fact, I think I might. Excuse me. If he gets too close to me, then, nope, didn't even reach me in time. Sucker. Nobody follows you from level to level, and people have sort of infinite forgiveness.
Huh?
They do get alerted a little bit faster the closer to you they are. Fortunately, if you've got a whole bunch of smoke bombs, if you've saved up your items, then you're all but unbeatable later in the levels. Beautiful. Alright. What's that, 4 levels? Let's try 1 or 2 more. This first thing here. It'll take a whole bunch of time. We got bandages. So I like playing these games as sort of a non-violent rogue more than I do a bloodthirsty killer, which accounts for my reluctance to use guns, I think, because they can be really useful. Unfortunately, as I said, the skeletons aren't permanent, so if another guard comes across the skeleton, excuse me, sir, then they can revive the other one. They just take a while and kind of pile the meat back on him. It's this really gross sound effect, it's just or whatever, but so it goes. If you can distract that guard, you can play the piano there, although there's no benefit for doing so. Well, disguises are powerful, so I'm going to leave that be until I need to get somewhere it's hard to get. Little bathrooms and side doors like the one we just saw down there can be quite useful, in that they can give you a nice little place to duck into. Little baffles like that where you can lose... Oh, there's 2 outfits. Alright. I'll take one now, and I'll have the other one for when I'm going to go upstairs. You do get that little warning before security cameras and whatnot actually gets a hold of you. Those lasers can be just about any length long, although they're usually quite long. Long enough to be annoying, I'll say that much. There are some hidden passages in the game that aren't immediately obvious. That guy's another little running joke that shows up on every level. He sort of follows your exploits around, I guess. I don't really know what his deal is. Okay. So here's a little 2-part puzzle. I happen to know that this is safe over there to the right. You knock that out, you go over here and get the safe, and the idea is you're able to pick it before anybody comes to, you know, fix the fuse. Another advantage of the pickpocket is that he picks those safes extremely quickly, along with any locks. It's not the most powerful thing, because everybody can pick locks decently enough. The really powerful people are the ones that have abilities that nobody else would, which is why... Oh, the hacker can be nice depending on the level, because if you see, next time we see one, I'll point it out to you, there are outlets all over the place, and he can actually produce hacks out of outlets. He also hacks computers. And there's 3 disguises in here. This is just a bonanza. You can pee into the toilets. Hooray! Okay. Excuse me, sir. I'm being really profligate with the disguise, but that's just because I know I've got infinite. Okay, there's 1 solid penny somewhere left around. And I will find it. If it's the last thing I do. Is it in here? It's not. Is it in here? 10. Is where this guy is. Stepping on cats produces... Of course, it was right in there. Stepping on cats produces a sound which guards will come and investigate. If you were the cleaner, who was another relatively powerful thief, his deal is that he can knock people out if he approaches them when they're unaware from the back. If you were the cleaner, as I say, then you can use cats to lure guards to you and knock them out that way, throttle them. He makes this really cool, like, sound when you do that. The sound design is really good in this game, too. Excuse me. This guy's just watching the TV. Never mind me, fellow police officer coming through. I'm from the Monkey Squad. Don't want to be seen by him for any longer than I have to. Where's this guy going? The patrols can get fairly annoying in later levels. There's still not anything like enough guards patrolling around to truly be annoying. I think... Ooh. I was going to say I'm all out of disguise, but there's another one right there ready-made for me. So I am going to be playing this through as only the pickpocket, and I'm going to get all the money, and I would like to never die. That would be my goal for this LP. I don't care about never being spotted or never setting off alarms or, I don't know, anything like that. As I say, I tend not to use guns, although that's just personal preference. I also like to avoid as much as I can setting off a lot of alarms. If you like to just run around and book it everywhere and, you know, do things like that, you can get away with a lot of that. And in later levels, I'm not really going to have much of a choice. I'm going to have to eventually set off a lot of the alarms. All right, kitty. You're going to be mad about this, and there's not really anything I can do about it. Oh, hey! Fresh suit jacket. Again, that's super profligate. I should probably have waited until this one actually exploded before I went and did anything foolish like that. We've only got sixpence left to get on this floor here. I think we're rescuing the gentleman in this level. I think that's the level that we're on. I don't even know anymore. But yeah, it's certainly the level we're on. So I've gotten all the money from here. There's three kind of stories, and the reasoning behind the differences in them is they're supposed to be told from different people's point of view, which I think is kind of a fun twist. Here's the gentleman. I'll get him after we're done getting all the money on this floor to keep up appearances for a pickpocket-only run. Theoretically, the gentleman would be great for that room too, because, as we can now see, he puts on that. It's a smaller number of divisions than the other suits have had before. But, oh, it's such a powerful ability. He regenerates it every time he's not being directly observed. But look at that, he doesn't even care about that guard. Just walks right past him. And now, just because I got to an area out of line of sight, boom, it just regenerates right back. So really, you know, Ms. Bundefund and I play the game on... excuse me, I was starting to play the piano there. Play the game with Mole and Gentleman, and that's only to beat new levels and extreme challenges and stuff like that, because... boom. Never mind me. Just a policeman playing the piano there. We only do that because it's an easy way to beat challenges. I'll say that. Did I have a bandage this time? Yeah, bandages heal you. But whatever. Sometimes when you're getting into cars, they set off lights. Oh, let's do one more. This is a fun enough game. Okay. Yeah, as I was saying, totally blanked. I do not remember what I was saying. Oh, dogs are introduced to this level. Dogs are annoying. Dogs pick up your scent. You can't hardly shake them unless you get in a tunnel, of which this level quite nicely has a huge number. That's another one where Hector is great, because walking in front of that dog basically automatically triggers him. Unless you're the gentleman with a basically full tuxedo. Dogs will not see through tuxedos, being only foolish beasts. I don't think there's anything else to get up here. I'll eat my words and have to come back up here later if I'm wrong, I guess. Playing as the pickpocket is nice because it eliminates quite a lot of what might be called the annoyances of the game, which is, you know, having to scrape and run after every penny and stuff like that. He allows you to make for much more clean movements. He's also my favorite just kind of aesthetically. I don't know what that says about me, but I like his hobo design. The locksmith is supposed to be sort of this blue-collar guy, I get the impression. There's also the one character we haven't seen yet is the redhead, or the blonde in her prologue chapter. Maybe I'll end this out by trying the pickpockets prologue chapter. Prologue chapters are really hard, so I'm not going to guarantee I'm not going to die on that one. But I have managed all of the, basically all the game with solo pickpocket before. I reloaded this on, you know, erased all my old save games just for sort of the challenge of going through it again. And I've gotten a decent way through both campaigns with solo pickpocket. Again, it's much more of a challenge than doing it with the Mole or the Gentleman or anything like that. It's actually, I saw a little bit of, I think it was that C. Jacobs did the Monaco Let's Play? And I'd be interested to go back and see who their favorite characters were. Everybody seems to have different opinions and stuff, and there's no right or wrong answers, except that the pickpocket is the best, of course. You know, maybe this is all just a buried, whatever, stand-in for my secret desire to have a capuchin monkey. I think it would be an excellent pet if it weren't for two factors. And the first is that I hear that they can be dangerous and violent, which of course is technically no good. And the second is, of course, they're, you know, they require so much attention that I don't really think it would be ethical of me, say, to keep a capuchin monkey. Now see here, another place where getting those could be a lot of trouble if I didn't have a little monkey friend to go do it for me. Oh, Hector, you are the best. I think in the very first mission... Oh, I have a tuxedo on, man, I'm well prepared. I think in the very first mission, the pickpocket mentions that they were going to put Hector in a zoo and deport him, which I think is just no good. Here we go, I did get all the pennies. And there's a computer up here in case you wanted to hack those lasers down there. Like an amateur. Go, Hector. Boom. You don't keep pennies or items in between levels, so... let's make it foggy up here. There we go. I'm not sure what we're planning to do with all those guards, but I guess we'll figure that out when we get there. The answer, of course, is that the boat explodes, but you'll see that later. Okay. Let's give the pickpockets prologue a choice. Pickpocket chapters are special because there's a few things special with them. The first is you can only play as one character, obviously. I don't think they're multiplayer compatible. There's not a lot of space to hide. There's ever-increasing numbers of guards. It's basically a nightmare. You can see that I require 40 pennies or whatever altogether in order to consider the mission complete, and that will increase to a much greater number. See, that guard is phasing into existence there. So I have to just avoid people as much as I can. Somebody saw me. I'm just going to alert a guard, so I'm going to try to clear out. Unfortunately, and rather cruelly, I think, because the pickpocket's whole deal is that he gets into shrubbery more quickly than other people. You actually can't, there's no bushes to hide in or anything like that. Alright, you always die in the prequel missions. There's no getting around that. But I've only got, I think, 16 more pennies before I get to perfect, so I may pull this off. A trophy is worth 10, which is the real reason for getting those. So if I can get the trophy in just 3 more pennies, and there's the 3. Can I just... oh, almost had it. Almost. Top I must have alerted enough people. So the idea is I used to be a rich man, but now I'm stealing from the public gardens. I'll get this as it comes by. Come here, trophy. Got it. Beautiful. All right. Well, that's that. That's the pickpocket's prequel mission. All right. Easy does it, everybody. And I died right there, but that's fine. I got 98 pennies, which I think is my highest score. Maybe not. Anyway, all the trophies, and that's the pickpocket. I believe we got all the way up to the Scorpion and the Frog, which is it's a big campaign, so I'll have a few more videos, and obviously they'll go a bit slower as we go on in time. It may take me a few tries to get through some of these later ones here, because they are awful tricky. But I thank you for watching this casual LP, and I will catch you guys later.